Hello everyone, welcome back to PHOTOPEA tutorials. Today we're going to learn how to create custom brushes and texture. We're going to design a brush completely from scratch, convert it into a reusable brush preset, and then explore how to use it for texture painting, shading, and detail work. Custom brushes are essential for digital artists, illustrators, and even photo editors. They give your work a personal, unique touch and can massively speed up your workflow. And best of all, this is all done in PHOTOPEA. So let's start with a quick overview. First, I will create a new project. Brushes in PHOTOPEA, as we learned, are bitmap-based shapes that act like stamps. Wherever you click or paint, it applies that shape in the selected size and style. PHOTOPEA comes with a bunch of default brushes, such as round, soft, textured, but making your own gives you more control. Custom brushes are just black and white images where black becomes the brush shape and white becomes transparent. So let's make one from scratch. Grab the brush tool first by pressing on B on the keyboard or just selecting it in the instrument panel, and use a default soft black brush to paint a shape. For this video tutorial, I will draw a black star. This can be a splatter, grunge texture, or even your signature. The signature custom brush can be very useful if you have a lot of documents to sign and you don't have time to do it every time. So creating a stamp with a signature will accelerate the work. And you can also use the lasso tool or pen tool to create sharper edges. To create sharper looking edges, just click on polygonal lasso select and draw the same thing but using this instrument. And then you can color it. And go to Edit, Define New Brush. So this brush has been added. Command D to unselect the selection. And here is your custom brush made from lasso. Now let's go back to the soft brush option. And you can be creative here because anything you draw in black will become part of the brush. Then go to Edit and define new brush. Now you have added this brush to your list. And you can just stamp it here, or if you want to draw with it, then you can draw it like this. Or make it smaller, change the color, and just basically all the brush settings that we have previously learned about. You can as well change the brush settings, like size. Hardness is going to be like this because we have initially started with soft brush. Blend mode, opacity, flow, smoothness, and we can also create symmetrical drawings like this. Now let's see how to find your already saved and created brush. Where you can see it is here in this menu in the down option. And use it whenever you will want to. These are perfect for painting texture, dust, or even foliage. But of course you need to choose which shape fits each purpose the best. You can use Ctrl Z or Command Z to undo brush strokes quickly. And if you want to rotate the brush, just change the angle in the brush settings, which adds variation without changing the shape. And to preview your brush better, try using it on a neutral background like gray, black, or white. So just to recap, we created a brush by painting a black shape on white, defined it via the edit menu, and then tested it with different settings. That's really all you need to make endless custom brushes. Try creating 3 totally different brushes today, one soft, one grungy, and one sharp. It's a great way to explore the possibilities. Next time you're editing photos, try using a subtle texture brush as a mask to add realism. It's a small trick with big impact. Now we can also learn how to create making texture brushes from photos. First, you open a texture photo. I'm gonna download mine from the pexels.com website. For example, let's use the wood texture here and download it. Now you can open it. First thing we're gonna do before creating a new brush, desaturate the image by going to Image, Adjustments, Desaturate, or click on Shift Command U. And you can also increase the contrast using levels or curves so the texture stands out clearly. Now I will adjust the levels to increase contrast. This helps make the brush more defined by deepening the blacks and lifting the whites, which translates to a more dynamic shape once it's converted into a brush. Like this. And then you can use the lasso tool or marquee tool to select an interesting area that you would like to use in your brush. Then go to Edit, Define New Brush. And now your brush is added and you can go back to the old project, click on Brush, and select the one that we have just added, and here it will be available, and you can also change the color to something, for example, even black. Here you have it. If your brush looks too faint, make sure the original image has solid contrast, especially in the black areas. Anything too light might not show up clearly when painting. And avoid using very small images for brushes. Try to work at 300 to 500 pixels minimum, otherwise your brush might look pixelated when scaled up. And now I'm gonna add texture stamps like this. You could also create brushes from hand-drawn textures. Just scan or take a photo of your sketch, clean it up in PHOTOPEA, and define it as a brush. If you're using a stylus or tablet, you'll get more control with pressure sensitivity. Although PHOTOPEA doesn't support pressure yet, this still mimics the effect with opacity and flow settings. If you don't have textures on hand, websites like Unsplash or Textures.com or Websels.com have a ton of free high-resolution images to use as brush bases. So, if you want to back up your brushes or share them, here's how. Click the brush menu and click on Define New. And here you will have your brush preset 2015. And you can also export your brushes, export as TPL files, which are compatible with Photoshop and other programs, and download it to your computer and then share them. Same with the other brush. If you select it, Define New, and Tool Preset added. So this one has also been added to the brush presets. And you can as well change the name of your brush preset right in that brush drop-down menu. So at this point, we have walked through the full process of creating custom brushes and texture brushes in PHOTOPEA, from scratch to application. We started by looking at how brushes work in general, and then we built a brush from scratch on a blank canvas. Just a custom shape drawn with the brush or lasso tool turned into a reusable preset with a single menu command. After that, we took it further by turning a real-world texture, a photo of a wall in our case, into a brush. And by desaturating and adjusting the contrast, we could isolate the texture into something brush ready. That's a fantastic way to bring organic, imperfect elements into your digital work. These tools give you more than just convenience, they give you personalization. And when you use brushes you've created yourself, your work takes on a visual identity that's unique to you. And I hope you found this video useful and see you in the next ones.